Yes, sir. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you're having a great day today. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Did you guys see like 5 different streams for me? I thought I saw so many and I didn't know which one was which anymore. I thought I was losing my mind. But maybe I'm losing my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know what you're seeing anymore. I don't know what's what anymore, man. I don't know what's good anymore. You saw several. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Some kind of malfunction. It wasn't me, but I'm still sorry about it. I didn't do it, but I'm sorry. You know how it is. Streaming. It's a whole thing, you know. Plus, I'm trying to get, well, people were saying they can't listen to the show, that they can't listen to the show without being on, that they can't listen to the background. So I told people that I would do vertical and horizontal so that everybody can see what we're doing. So people can listen to it. So people can listen to it in the backgrounds of their apps. Thank you so much for being here. I never got notifications for Morning Sky is all actually sound is bad. Thanks. You never got the notification for Morning Sky? I don't know what the hell. You never get the notifications. I don't know why you never get the notifications. Did you put the bell icon on? I don't know. Maybe I should put... let me Google real fast. People who subscribe to my YouTube are not getting notifications when I'm live. What's the problem? All right, I'm asking Google. Subscribers not receiving live notifications is likely due to viewers not setting the bell icon to all or having personalized notifications enabled. Advise viewers to check their device/app settings to ensure permissions are allowed. For troubleshooting, refer to the YouTube help notification troubleshooter. You need to have all notifications set to personalize. Subscribers often have notifications set to personalized rather than all. YouTube's experimental filtering as of 25/26. YouTube may not send push notifications to users who haven't recently engaged with your channel, even if they have all notifications. But you have engaged with my channel, so I don't know what the deal is, Paris Kitty. But looks like you have to set it to all. Co-Sider gets them every time. And Co-Sider's not even a channel member. What's going on, Co-Sider? What's going on, Co-Sider? What you doing? All right, the question of the day that we're going to explore today is whether or not are dating apps responsible for how we view commitment? Are they? I don't know. I'd like to think that they must be, because what is going on with this world? It seems like people are seeing the world so differently than they used to, especially when it comes to interpersonal relationships. I don't know what to make of it half the time, you know? It's like commitment and readiness. As of April 2026, roughly 46% of Americans claim they are ready for a long-term relationship now. 46% of Americans say they are ready for a long-term relationship now. Marriage trends. Approximately 27% of couples who married in 2025 met through a dating site or app. What? 25% met through apps. 27%. 61% of adults believe relationships starting online are just as successful as those starting in person. That's what they believe. 61% of adults believe that. What do you believe? Do you believe that? Go to morningsky.live/PYB and join the show. I'd love for you to hang out with me and join the show. Let's see. 65% of Gen Z men on Hinge. 65% of Gen Z men on Hinge say they want deep conversations from the start. But only 42% of Gen Z women believe the men they date avoid them. 42% of women think that men they date avoid deep conversations. But 65% of men on Hinge say they want deep conversations from the start. But that's okay. That's like 65% of men say they want deep conversations, and 42% of women say men don't want conversations. That's a Gen Z. They say that maybe it's too many people, too many choices out there, and that people are just saying that they don't want to have relationships anymore because of it. Could that be a factor? What do you think? I think it might be. I think it just might be. Nurse Rod, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here, Nurse Rod. Thank you, Paris Kitty, for being here. You're amazing. Neither wants to know what's at the depths. I don't know, man. It seems like people are begging to know each other more. I mean, I was looking up statistics about the loneliness epidemic that we hear about every day. Let me pour myself a cup of tea. We're going to have a little get down into this. I took a couple leaves from my mint tree in the garden. My little mint bush is only this big, and I take little pieces of mint off of. I'm always afraid I'm killing my mint bush, because how many more days? It's not like the leaves don't grow as quickly as I'm taking them. Pretty soon it's just going to be a mint stick. I'm just going to have a mint stick if I drink mint every day. If I use mint every day from my little mint tree or mint bush, whatever it is, I'm not going to have any more mint in like 2 weeks. Smoking Blondie, what do you think? Do you think that's true? Do you think it's true that 27% of couples who married in 2025 met through dating site or app? Maybe we should broaden the question, does technology affect how we're responsible? Is technology responsible for how we view intimacy and commitment? I remember this movie called The Swiss Army Man, and it had that weird little guy in it, and it had Daniel Radcliffe in it. And there was this line in it where he said that every woman was more special before the internet. That every woman was more special before the internet. Oh my God, Real John Zook, have I ever had Fernet Branca? Fernet Branca is one of my favorites. Are you kidding me? I have like 3 Fernet Branca challenge coins. Am I a Fernet Branca fan? Are you kidding me? Fernet Branca is like my favorite drink Fernet Branca is my favorite drink in the world. It's my favorite. I'm a huge Fernet Branca fan. When I was in Germany, Fernet Branca is popular in Germany. And then I moved back to California, and I was like in Southern California, I had to try to like special order Fernet Branca. And then I moved to San Francisco, or I went to the Bay. I lived in Berkeley, and everyone was drinking Fernet Branca. I was like, these are my people. And I was just drinking Fernet Branca every night. And then I moved to Virginia, and I started a band, and my drummer was Argentinian. And in Argentina and Buenos Aires, they're obsessed with Fernet Branca. But in Virginia, they don't have liquor stores like we do in the rest of the country. The liquor store is controlled by the state. So you have to like petition the state to get them to carry your shit. So I did. And they got a bunch of Fernet Branca for us. And my friend and I were the only ones in town buying it. I mean, and we were telling everybody to buy it. And then we went out and begged all the restaurants to carry it. so that we could just keep it in the stores. And they did. And so we had Fernet Branca. I personally got people to buy Fernet Branca in my little town in Virginia. And then I moved to Las Vegas, and Fernet Branca is like a bartender's handshake. Only bartenders drink it, but that's okay because I was a bar manager. I was a hospitality manager in mostly bars. I was more of a barman than anything else. And I drank Fernet Branca every night. And then Herbs and Rye, one of the best cocktail bars in the world. It's won many awards as the best cocktail bar in the world. They actually give out free shots of Fernet, not Branca, but Fernet, like at random times at that bar. It's so good, like esoteric, weird ones. Yeah, I know about Fernet Branca. I'm a huge fan of a Fernet. I'm a huge fan of Fernet Branca. Big, big, big fan. I know all the drinks you can make with it, like the Hanky Panky and the Fernando. But I'll drink it on the rocks. I'll do shot. Man, I never do shots. I never do shots. That's a strict rule of mine, unless it's Fernet Branca. So people are like, come on, Sky, do a shot, do a shot. Come on, do a shot. And I said, I'm only going to do a shot if we all do it. A Fernet Branca shot, and that's it. And then people shut the hell up because people are pussies and can't drink Fernet Branca. Yeah, I should have known. My ex-wife thought it tasted like battery acid. I should have known it wasn't going to work out. In fact, you know what? I should never be with a woman again who can't drink Fernet Branca. My last girlfriend, I was with her longer than my ex-wife. She couldn't drink Fernet Branca. I should just break up with girls the second they can't drink Fernet Branca. In fact, I think that should be, I should start a dating profile and be like, if you can't drink Fernet Branca, swipe left. Swipe left. Kathy's never used one. Skyjack, are you an alcoholic? No, I don't think I'm an alcoholic. I barely drink anymore. I used to spend a lot of money on alcohol, though. I was in the business, man. I sold alcohol, so I guess like I drank a lot too. But like drinking has always been a really big part of my life. But these days, like today is Thursday, and I'm really hoping I get a donation. I hope I get a super chat so I can buy a $4 bottle of wine from Trader Joe's and a baguette. That's kind of my style these days. But Fernet Branca, I'm a big fan. A big, big fan. Big fan. NH outlets sell it for like $30. It's cheap. It's a cheap bottle of Fernet Branca. Do you know that Fernet Branca is one of the largest users of saffron on planet Earth? The Branca Corporation uses more saffron than almost any other company. Isn't that crazy? I'll raise you Malort. Malort's good too. Malort's that Chicago. People like that in Chicago. Malort. It's like their Fernet. It's the same kind of idea, except it's made of artichokes or something. Whew, liqueurs. I'm a very big fan. He doesn't even drink during his gaming streams. I don't. I barely drink these days. Cheers, says Steffelson. All right. Now I have enough money for a bottle of cheap. I have cheap Trader Joe's wine. Now all I need is a couple bucks for a baguette, and we're in business. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Rock Gut. I don't drink Rock Gut. Rock Gut. I really don't. I don't really drink that Rock Gut, like vodka, like shitty, like Gorbachev vodka or whatever. No, that's not really my style. I don't drink it. I don't barely drink these days. So, but I miss it. I miss drinking. Thank you so much, Steffelson. I do miss it. I'm a big fan of drinking. Not gonna lie. I like drinking. But I don't know. I've always been very fortunate in that I could always take it or leave it. You know, I could, same thing with like cigarettes and all that. Like I could always just take it or leave it. And I feel like a lot of people can't do that. But I've always had that kind of relationship with substances. I don't know. I'm very lucky that way. I don't have that addiction. Like I could pick up a pack of cigarettes today, smoke it, and then drop it. Like that wouldn't be a problem for me at all. I've never tried heroin, so I hear that's different. But like even like heavy drugs that I've done, I just never have had like nothing like I don't know. Maybe it's willpower. Not everyone's an addict. Yeah, not everyone's an addict. Exactly. I'm very, very lucky in that. I realize how lucky I'm very appreciative about how lucky I am. My uncles were alcoholics, but they went to war and stuff, you know. I mean, it's really the bug runs in my family. On my mom's side, my uncles one went to Korea, one went to Vietnam. They both had addiction problems. One turned to Christ and turned his life into just all about Jesus, and that's just another addiction, you know, for a lot of people. And then I have another uncle who he helped popularize air conditionings in America. He was a millionaire and he lost it all gambling. And he could still stay anywhere for free in Las Vegas because he gambles so much. It's really bad. So, but luckily for me, I never had that problem. I'm very lucky. Stoked actually, but it also kind of fucks me because I wish I could get like addicted to. I got addicted to running. I could get addicted to running, but then you end up hurting yourself. But I guess that's good. Addiction is genetic and also is an underlying issue of other mental health issues. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like I said, it seems like it ran in my family. So my mom was always afraid about us drinking or whatever, but she drank and she didn't have a problem. It's just not for everybody, you know. My downfall was Jaeger bombs. Oh, Jaeger bombs is like Fernet Branca except for children. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Thank you, Leif Erikson. Thank you so much, Leif Erikson. Now I could get a bottle of cheap wine and a baguette. Thank you. I still don't know how I'm going to pay for StreamYard. Probably not. I'm going to learn how to do OBS, I guess, and so we could keep doing this. But yes, thank you so much, Leif Erikson. But Jägermeister is basically just Fernet Branca for kids. It's basically just it's Fernet Branca for sweet tooths. It's funny because people always ask me, like, what does Fernet Branca taste like? It tastes like Jaeger, except all of the sweetness and fun are removed. It's like the difference between a mocha at Starbucks and a triple espresso. They're both coffee drinks, but one's got chocolate in it. That's the difference between Jägermeister and Fernet Branca. Yes. Sky, don't spend money on alcohol until your financial situation is getting better. Well, I'm not. I mean, every once in a while I'll buy like a $4 bottle of wine. You're going to deny me a $4 bottle of wine? Come on, man. What am I supposed to do with my life? I can't. Life ain't worth living if you can't afford a $4 bottle of wine on Thursdays so you can watch TV by yourself alone in a room with no one to love you. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I don't have anybody to love me, so I've got a cheap bottle of wine and TV instead. You know what I mean? Fernet is okay barrel aged. Yeah. 17 years of meth was easy to quit. Booze, not so much. I get that. It's okay. The medical community doesn't use your opinion when running studies. It's a good thing the medical opinion doesn't use the medical community. What do you mean when you use my studies? I don't know what the medical community is saying that's different than what I'm saying. I've been very lucky that I never got really addicted to anything. Just been lucky. Fernet Branca is like dark chocolate mint mixed with tobacco. Okay, maybe minty. There's some minty. Anise. It's like licorice and coffee and saffron and turmeric. I don't know. It's good. It's good. Oh, not me, says Smoking Blondie. Okay. I wanted to call today, but then I got a call from my dad, and I was very annoying. So I have to chill now. I was an exhausting 30 minutes call. Oh man, that sounds hard. I guess I should call my dad. My dad doesn't know who I am half the time when I call him. It's like he knows who I am when the conversation starts, but by the time the conversation's over, he doesn't know who I am anymore. It is unfortunate. I don't like calling my dad because every time I talk to him, he asks me how my mom's doing, and I got to be like, she's great. She's been dead for 5 years. She's great. She's doing great, man. It's great. Mom's been dead for 5 years. It's not something I want to have to tell him every single time. I got a kick out of telling him the first few times, but now it's like it hurts me more than it hurts him. Now he's like, oh, I didn't know. How'd she die? Oh, my God. Kills me, man. Kratom? No, I ain't trying no Kratom. I ain't trying no Kratom. Yeah, it's rough. It's right. Yeah, it's rough. Shit, man. But, I mean, I feel like I still got to call him, right? Like I do the... I gotta get to heaven, right? I gotta do good things so I go to heaven. I gotta do good deeds, right? That is indeed super rough. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. So I just lie now. I'm like, no, she's fine, man. She's traveling. She's in Hawaii. She's having a great... I make up stories now about when he asked me about my mom. I make up stories about how great she's doing. She's traveling the world. She's going to see all these wonderful things. She's really enjoying her life. She's rich. She struck it rich. She won the lottery. You know, I just make shit up. It doesn't matter to him, right? He'll forget. By the next time I talk to him, he won't remember what I said. And it keeps me from crying, you know? Having to explain every time makes me want to cry. My dad's kind of an asshole, so the first couple times I don't know, I thought it was all right, but then now it's just like, ugh, don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. Anyway, so the story of the day, the question of the day is, are dating apps responsible for how we view commitment and intimacy? Long-term commitment and intimacy, the infinite scroll of potential partners creates a permanent grass is always greener psychology. When there's always another option, a swipe away, the incentive to invest in imperfect but real relationships collapses. Apps profit from your dissatisfaction. Satisfied customers delete the app. Satisfied customers delete the app. They don't want you doing that. They don't want you doing that. I feel like the grass is always greener problem is all very real. If you've ever lived in a very busy city like New York, everyone there is single because they're all like, they don't want to invest in relationships. They're like, I'll meet another person right around the corner. I'll meet another person. Why do I need to you farted in public? I don't need to be with that. Out. It's that easy. That people are like, I'm really picky. No, you're just really mean when you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's okay to be picky when you're getting before you date, but I mean, it's weird that people like, they'll just break up with somebody or ghost them, worse, and they'll just drop them like a bad habit because they think someone's right around the corner. And with this shit, like the apps, it really is. Really is. You know? It's really bad. Maybe dementia from parasites. It could be dementia from parasites. No, my father doesn't have dementia from parasites. He was all, he was losing his memory, but then he fell. His memory wasn't good. He was already like just starting out, and then he fell and cracked his skull, and then he had brain damage, and so now it's him, but he's like goofy. He's kind of like, he thinks everything's a joke, and he can't remember anything anymore. So that's the story about my father. Thank you for asking. It's heartbreaking. And what's even worse is that I haven't really had anything to do with my father for like 15, 20 years or something. And now we're supposed to build a relationship or something before he dies, but nothing will ever be resolved because everything's just goofy doopy. And so I have to be like, I have so much resentment towards you, but now I have all I have is obligation because you're old and loopy and can't remember shit. So that's always fun. That's really good time. Dementia from parasites. It sounds royal. So it's a call-in show. Should I remind everybody? This is a call-in show. It's a call-in show just for all of you. You could call in by going to morningsky.live/PYB, morningsky.live/PYB. Pick your battles. You don't have to talk about the item at hand, the question of the day. We could talk about anything you want. We could talk about yesterday's if you'd like. Yesterday's was surveillance state. Is surveillance and safety worth your loss of privacy? Or anything else. You could bring your own battle. It's always fun. You could talk about why you want to. I was thinking about how I think dating apps are really good for people who are incels who want to learn how to talk to ladies. You could just text them, swipe right on everybody, and then just text, like get used to texting. I think that's pretty cool. What do you think? Maybe I should call in. I need to get a coffee first. That's what everybody says. Coffee first. I like that idea. Like maybe you don't know how to talk to people or you lost your mojo. Get on the dating apps, drop a couple likes on some faces, and then have a couple simple conversation. That's pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. Pretty easy. Do you think there's the gamification of attraction, matching algorithms, profile optimization, response metrics, trains users to evaluate people as products? That evaluation posture doesn't disappear when you put your phone down. It follows you into the relationship. Oof. It's like, how much is that doggy in the window? Huh? You're shopping on the app. Does that go away when you finally meet that person? I don't think so. I don't think so. Choice overload. When presented with too many choices, the brain often defaults to indecision. A professor of social theory notes, the more people you look at, the less likely you are to choose anybody. God, that's got to be a thing, right? You could ask ChatGPT to make a counter argument, then argue it while waiting for a human. Argue with ChatGPT? Oh, God. You want to put AI center stage? Should we argue with ChatGPT? But what do you think? Do you think that if you know more people, that if you're surrounded by more people, you just don't choose anybody because you're surrounded by people? Maybe that's why so many Americans aren't getting into relationship. Maybe that's why we have a loneliness epidemic, because you're constantly looking at people on your phone. You put the phone down and you're stuck. Try Claude. Claude puts you behind a paywall pretty quickly. You can't ask Claude that many questions before they go. Vegly is the only app I use. How is it? Do you like it, John Zook? Do you like it? Should I be on there? My friend who owns the thing says that when I'm ready to start dating again, I should call him and he'll give me a free premium account because I've helped them so much with like advertisements and stuff. Should I do it? Should I go on to Vegly and meet a vegan girl so that we can argue about why veganism isn't about suffering and it's about liberation? Yeah, it's true. I know. Try Claude. The Genie is already out of the bottle. The genie is already out of the bottle. Indeed, you're right. That is why Amazon gives me only 3 choices of garden shoes. I think that's why, right? They limit it for you now. They have an AI, but then they give you infinite choice where you can compare. I don't know. I don't buy gardening shoes anymore. I don't think I ever have, actually. Sky, what do you do? What would you do if you had to take a medication, but all the offerings for it have lactose? What medication has lactose in it? Is that true? Is that a real thing? What medication? I don't know, man. You know what's funny about me though, man? I try not to take any medication. I don't like medication. I don't like pill culture. I don't like taking pills. I don't like doctors. If I drop over dead from something that was ailing me, I say good riddance. That's a great way to die. If I get some cancer and it eats me real fast, fuck it, man. I don't want to fight it. Make it faster. That's fine with me. Just die more quickly. I'm perfectly okay with that. I don't really want to have a bunch of drugs. I don't want to take a bunch of pills, you know? Because regardless what you said, during the time of Jesus, Muhammad's world and what he said is so true. What, Moonfletch? History says it was crazy, plus because it says all... What? You totally should do it, says Ben. Vegly? You think I should do Vegly? Or you think I should do ChatGPT? Don't know which one you mean. Gotta turn around this fatalism sky, my boy. Don't forget to be grateful for this life. I'm grateful for this life. Wait a second. That doesn't say that I'm not grateful. I'm totally grateful for my life. I'm grateful for this life very much. I just think that if I am going to go, I don't want to be popping pills and going to have chemo and like all this extra work, man. It's just like, let me get my affairs in order. Let me write something down, what to do. Say goodnight, Gracie. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. That's what life is going to be like. I'm grateful. I'm super grateful for the time I have on planet Earth, and I don't want to die. I don't want to go. But I don't want to go. If disease is what gets me, like if the government gets me, I'm shooting back. But if it's like if cancer gets me, after all this, if all this, and I get some cancer in my lung, and they're like, well, we could cut out a piece of your lung by cutting you open and opening your rib cage and digging in there and then snipping out the cancer and then showing you back up, and you'll be in a hospital bed for weeks, and then you'll be shitting in a bag for months. But hey, you might live a little longer, but you won't ever breathe the same. I'd be like, man, let me tell you where my body's going to be so you can come get it. Hello, Skyjack. Hope all is cool in your world. Hello, Raoul Duke. How are you doing, Raoul Duke? I'm trying to get people to call into my call-in show, but no one ever wants to talk to me, man. It's really quite sad. No one ever wants to talk to old Skyjack. Everyone wanted me to do this call-in show, and no one ever wants to call in. Ben from Berlin has convinced me to start an hour early so that more people can call in. But nobody's calling in. Nobody wants to call in. So I guess I will ask ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT. But first I wanted to give a couple more things, like the loneliness epidemic, the scale of the crisis. Oh, here's an interesting thing, though. Apps as introduction. Now, experts suggest viewing apps not as dating apps, but as tools for introduction. True dating only starts when you are in the same room. And they cite the 2.5% rule. Some studies suggest that only 2.5% of matches actually lead to long-term, meaningful relationships, with apps often designed more for hope than for engagement, than for helping users exit the platform. They want to sow hope. Uncertainty as a threat. Neuroscience shows that the brain treats relational uncertainty like ghosting or vague text as a physical threat, activating neurocircuitry similar to that of our ancestors facing predators. Oh, that's so true, right? Ghosting or vague text is that gives me the EBGBs, man. That Uncertainty as a threat. Neuroscience shows that the brain treats relational uncertainty like ghosting or vague text as a physical threat, activating neurocircuitry similar to that of our ancestors facing predators. That's what Time Magazine reports. Holy shit. I think that's real, man. I don't know. People who go, that's why people say, like, when you ghost, it seems like you're a really horrible person. And that makes sense because my brain that's why I would never do it. I would never ghost somebody. I would never do it. You're never going to be the last person who texts with me. You're never going to be the last person who texts. I'm not ghosting. Okay. If you ask me a question, I might take a while to get there, but I'm not going to be the one who ghosts. I'm not the ghoster. Okay. I mean, unless you're like assaulting me or something, or you're crazy, but that's not ghosting. I'm like, I'm done. No, if I'm like, I'm out, you're going to know. I'm not going to turn into a ghost and you're going to wonder if I'm dead. You know what I mean? But that makes perfect sense because it does feel like a physical threat. It does feel that way, that your brain is processing it like that, man. And that's why it makes you feel crazy, right? It makes you feel insane. Like, why is it so painful when someone ghosts you? And why would I never? It seems so stupid to be like, I would never. But I wouldn't ever. Ghosting is rude. I mean, ghosting looks like it. I mean, according to your neuroscientist over here at Time Magazine, it's a physical threat. I mean, it's assault. It's a type of assault. Man. All right, so I want to talk about just the loneliness epidemic in America. But ghosting seems to be the thing to do in the South. What? The South? The South? I don't think it's a thing to do in the South. Is that because maybe you're texting people who can't read in the South, Paris Kitty? That's possible. I mean, their literacy rates are in the toilet over down there in the South. That might be it. Maybe you're texting someone who can't read and they ghost you because they don't know what it says. They're like reading your text and they're like, I can't read. What am I doing with the phone? I can't read. Ding dang do. Or they're doing voice to text. They're like, oh, ding dang do. How come you ain't going ding dang do? And then the phone goes not recognized. So they can't do voice to text because the phone doesn't recognize their redneck accent, and they can't read your text. And they can't type. It won't work, man. They're done. They're toast, chopped. Maybe that's the problem. Interesting. Throw in the fact that the older we get, the more difficult it is to meet people. We get more settled in our ways, and we put up with less people's BS. Yeah, we got a loneliness epidemic, son. Until you get to the nursing home, then it's a fuck fest. I guess that's what it is, man. People like, well, I'm old, you're old, we're both ugly, let's go. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to make it that old. I don't think I'm going to ever be a 90-year-old man. I don't know. I figure 75. Whew. 75. Out. Unless I got kids. Then I'll try to figure out how to live longer, but a dude almost cried because I sent him 4 short texts in a row. Oh, Paris Kitty. That's so horrible. If I meet somebody and I'm texting them, I straight up say, hey, I'm going to overtext you. Just tell them. I'm like, hey, if you don't give me your number unless you're okay with awkward and overtexting, because if you're not, then this ain't going to work. I'm going to want a lot of texts. I'm going to want to have someone to text about random shit, random thoughts. Also, just out of another thing I was thinking about today, I was in my garden and I have all these roses in bloom. I have so many roses. I've got tons of roses. And I thought it would be so nice to clip them and give them to my neighbor. But then I'm like, roses, they're so romantic, and I don't want to. We should normalize giving roses to friends and neighbors, right? We should normalize giving flowers to friends, I think. I think so. Bad cry like you were abusing him with 4 texts? What did the text say? What were the texts saying? There's some retirement community in Florida that's known for swinging. I know you've heard about how they've all got chlamydia and herpes and fucking, yeah, syphilis and stuff. Yeah, you keep hearing that about old people's homes. If my father's getting lucky in the old person's home, he won't remember it. He won't remember him. If my father's in the nursing, my father's in a nursing home. If he's getting lucky in there, it's too bad because tomorrow he's not going to remember. He won't remember it in a couple hours. He'll be like, "What happened?" Man, that's too bad. Someone's crying for you. 4 texts. That's too bad. That's too bad. All right, so Gen Z, as early as of early 2026, roughly 67% of Gen Z adults report feeling lonely, compared to 44% of baby boomers. But what about millennials? Millennials just get skipped. Generation just gets skipped. 67, Generation X and millennials, they just get skipped. But Gen Z adults, 67% are feeling lonely, and only 44% of baby boomers. Maybe because the baby boomers are getting laid in the old person's homes. 50% of U.S. adults currently report experiencing loneliness, a figure the U.S. Surgeon General equates to the mortality risk of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Oh, shit. The Surgeon General says loneliness is as dangerous as smoking 3/4 of a pack? That's 3/5. 3/5 of a pack. 3/5 of a pack of cigarettes is as dangerous as being lonely. That can't be good. No wonder people are dying of cancer so easy. I gotta find somebody quick. I can't be lonely for long. I gotta find someone quick, goddammit. Either that or pick up smoking. You might as well be smoking if you're alone, I guess. If you're alone, just start smoking 15 packs of cigarettes a day. You might as well. The Surgeon General says that 50% of U.S. adults currently report experiencing loneliness, a figure the U.S. Surgeon General equates to the mortality risk of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Damn. A growing gap. In 2025, 69% of adults reported needing more emotional support than they actually received, up from 65% just a year prior. 69% of Americans, 69% of American adults report needing more emotional support than they actually receive. Young adult isolation. In 2026, international study found that nearly 1 in 2 adults aged 18 to 24 report feeling lonely. That's 50%, yeah. Of people 18 to 24, just even the kids are lonely. Damn, son. And so the app users report higher loneliness score. 44% of the people using apps compared to 40%. So only 5% more. That ain't that big of a deal. Choice overload. Having an endless menu of matches can lead to users to treat people as disposable. This choice overload causes users to keep searching for someone better rather than investing in current connection. 78% of Gen Z users report feeling burnt out by the endless cycle of swiping, matching, and ghosting. Fuck that. Experts note that the digital connection provides an illusion of being close without interpersonal nourishment required to actually reduce loneliness. That's true too, man. You could have a connection with someone online, but without phone and without meeting them in person, you're still lonely. You're still lonely. Trump has caused loneliness. I mean, kinda, huh? That's kind of true. Trump has kind of caused loneliness. I think you're kind of right on about that. Trump has caused loneliness. Yeah, that makes sense. Who wants to be with someone who likes Donald Trump? I mean, people, and it goes the other way too. If you're a Trump tard, if you're a MAGA, you can't be with a person who thinks that trans people are humans. Like if you're a MAGA, you can't be with someone who thinks trans people are people too. You can't even be with someone who thinks that Joe Biden was just okay. You can't be with someone who thinks that Melania coin ain't going to the moon. I think I'm going to make a shirt that says buy Melania coin. So when people ask me about it, they can go. If someone asks me about it, I can go, well, yeah, you should buy Melania coin. Clearly, it's going to the moon. We need to be in person, Sky. Yeah, we need to meet in person for sure. I agree. Trump increases incels. Yeah, man, he does. You know, every time you see an incel, it's always a Trumpster. It's always a MAGA every single time. What's up with that? What's up with that? Let me ask ChatGPT. Now I'm going to ask Gemini. Why is it that every time there's an incel, they seem to be a MAGA edgelord? They seem to be a MAGA supporter. Let's see what Gemini says. The connection you're noticing between incel subculture and MAGA movement is real, though research shows it's more of an ideological overlap than a perfect one-to-one match. While not every incel is MAGA supporter, there is a powerful gravitational pull between these two worlds that researchers have been tracking closely into 2026, why they vibe together. The primary bridge between these two groups is a shared sense of aggrieved enlightenment. The feeling that something rightfully yours, status, job, or romantic attention has been unfairly taken away by modern progress. Oh, modern progress has harmed me. That's why I'm an incel. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Anti-feminism. Both groups often view feminism as a primary cause of societal decay. Incels blame it for ruining the sexual marketplace, while the MAGA movement often frames it as an attack on traditional American values. Feminism. Damn it, ladies, it's all your fault for wanting equal rights. That's the problem. It's not Donald Trump. It's ladies thinking that they're humans, thinking they should have all the right. You think that you should have all the rights as me? What have you done what have you done to compare to me? A man. It's always funny, these guys, like I watch the whatever podcast clips because they come into my feeds, and they're so gross because it's always that Brian Incel, that weird guy. I don't know, that he's always talking to women that are like OnlyFans models. It's so cringy. And he's like, men, they built all the roads. Yeah, but you didn't. You didn't build the roads. How dare you take credit for for great-great-grandpa building the roads? What are you talking about? What have women done? I don't know. Gave birth to all these assholes, I guess. Like they nursed all you pieces of shit, made sure you didn't die. How about that? I think that's pretty good. It's a pretty good start. Oh, you women. You women. Now ask the other at the same time, but frame it like you are MAGA and see how the answer is different. Should I do that? Ask the AI different? That's the opposite. Seriously, Jack, get yourself a comfortable chair in a small, warm, quiet room, put on some comfortable clothes, grab a bottle of your favorite libation, and just think about the present situation. I don't want to, man. Just think about the present situation. Drinking's not the answer. I'm trying to save up enough money to go to Trader Joe's and buy a $4 bottle of wine, son. That's what I want to do. I just want to buy a $4 bottle of cheap Chardonnay, put it in the fridge, and drink it ice cold. Ice cold. All I want is an ice cold Chardonnay. That's all I want. Is that okay with everybody? Is that okay? Play that Incel Revolution clip again. That was an hour. That took me like 2 hours to watch. I'm not going to play that whole thing again. People can watch that. I already streamed that shit. I'm not going to play that whole thing about the Incel Revolution guy. We need an Incel Revolution. That's what we need. Let's see. Anti-feminist, a glorious past as well. Both ideologies are deeply nostalgic. Incels romanticize a pre-feminist era where they believe every man was guaranteed a wife, which mirrors the Make America Great Again longing for a perceived better past. Oof. Every man had a right to a wife. Ooh. That's... Every man just had a right to a wife. They couldn't live without us. They couldn't get credit cards without us. If they wanted to do anything, they had to go through us. The men. Women don't want men anymore. They don't need us to get credit cards anymore either. Oh, no. Oh, it's this feminism. I wish it was like it used to be. I wish it was like America great again. We need to make America great again. You just want me to do the intro the first time? I just wanted you to do the intro the first time. It's hard. It drags you in watching FBI agents shake down a incel revolution group. Victim identity. Both members of both groups often feel like they are part of a maligned silent majority that is being oppressed by woke culture elites or political correctness. That's right. That's right. Here's the data, though. Breakdown. A major 2025 study found that among self-identified incels, roughly 38.8% are right-leaning, while 44.7% are left-leaning, and 17.5% are centrist. Ooh, 44.7% of incels are left-leaning. Interesting. It seems like just the loud incels are MAGA, the vocal minority. The reason it seems like they are all MAGA is that the most radical and aggressive members of the incels communities are the ones most likely to adopt extreme right-wing or dark MAGA rhetoric to get attention. I'm dark MAGA. I'm dark MAGA. Remember when Elon Musk said that he was dark MAGA? I'm dark MAGA. I am dark MAGA. Trump is Putin's bottom. Yeah. Most people are left-leaning from tests, even the MAGers. Yeah, I guess that's true. There's a lot of MAGers that are left-leaning. That's true. Well, I don't know about MAGers. There's a lot of people who voted for Trump that are left-leaning. That's for sure. There's a lot of Trumpsters, people who voted for Trump. That doesn't make them MAGA, right? Like, just because you voted for Donald Trump doesn't make you MAGA, right? Blame the women. It's the women's fault. It's the gay males seducing the rest. It must be. It must be. I look like Elon. Thank you. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, has spent a lot of money trying to look like me. Thank you very much, the Chad USA. You look like, judging by your picture, you look like Napoleon Dynamite's brother. You look like Napoleon Dynamite's brother in your picture. Thanks, Chad. I love a gay man. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like a gay man? Everyone likes gay men, don't they? Gay men are great. I don't know. They're just like everybody else. Some suck. Some are awesome. You know, some people suck. Doesn't matter who they are. Recruitment and radicalization, though. Extremist leaders like Nick Fuentes have explicitly targeted insecure young men in MAGA-adjacent spaces, using their frustration with dating as a gateway drug to more radical far-right ideologies. That's it, man. That's it. Extreme leaders like Nick Fuentes have explicitly targeted Insecure young men. That's so sad, really, because there's so many young men out there that are so insensitive and they can't deal, man, and no one's there to help them. I do look. I know that women are going through the same thing. I'm not discounting that at all, but I'm a man. And I think about how if I were a young man, I was so insecure about this shit, and then I had nobody except for the Tate brothers and Nick Fuentes to look up to. God damn, I'd be lost. I'd be lost. I'd be done. Toast. I'd be brown bread, man. It'd be over. It's over. My wife likes me because she thinks I'm gay. Yeah, sure, man. Your body, my choice slogan. Following the 2024 election, this phrase was popularized by far-right influencers and adopted by incel forums as a way to taunt women and signal a return to male dominance. Gross. Male dominance. I think that's... Maybe we'll get to the point where we got male dominance again, like when we run out of oil and there's no more technology and we're all like what happens if if you think about it, what happens when all this technology goes away? Because eventually it will, right? We'll eventually destroy the planet or knock out all of the internet, and all this shit comes crumbling down around our ears, and there will be men and women left after many of us will die. Don't you think we're not going to be as enlightened as well? It's not like we'll return to barbarism like they did after the fall of the Roman Empire. If there's truly a global collapse, will we have... We'll end up in the medieval, the Dark Ages, like we'll return to a belief in magic and weird religious stuff, and we'll have diseases run rampant. We'll have plagues and bullshit wars that don't matter anymore, and weird skirmishes that no one understands why they're in them. And also women will become second-class citizens, and it'll be horrible. Don't you think? Well, men are physically stronger in general. Well, yeah, in general, I guess. Sure, men are physically... Well, they're stronger different ways. People always say that men are physically stronger than women, but they're not stronger than women. They're stronger than women in certain ways, and women are stronger in other ways. It's always weird to me to go men are stronger than women. Well, in the ways that you're counting, but women are stronger than men in other ways. Women can endure carrying a child 9 months. I don't think a man could do that. A woman can push a child through her vaginal cavity, canal, whatever, through the canal. I don't think a man... Have you ever heard a man even get a kidney stone, man? They want to kill themselves. Or how about a woman can also, once the baby's born, women carry jugs of water on their heads in primitive places, these giant jugs of water on their head, and men can't do that. And it's because women have a lower center of gravity than a man. Men generally have a higher center of gravity on their shoulders, and women have a lower center of gravity on their hips. So women can carry shit for long distances that a man cannot. A man will give up. A man could lift things and carry them, heavier things, for shorter amounts of time, but a woman can carry a modest amount for a very long time that a man can't. So I don't know. It seems like men are not actually stronger than women. They're just stronger in different ways, and women are stronger in other ways. We're half of the fucking... It's so weird to me because we're just half of an equation. It's kind of like in the insect community, sometimes you have big women and little males. Sometimes you have flying males and ground-bound females. Sometimes you have but they're puzzle pieces. They're puzzle pieces. One is not better than the other. They go together. You know what I mean? It's like my hand. I probably favor my right hand because I use it to write. I use it to throw, but my left hand is very important and equally important, right? It's equally important to my right. If I lost my left hand, I'd realize how important it is. I take my left hand for granted because I use my right hand for so many things, but my left hand is equally important. Oh, I know you're not saying. I know you're not saying better. I'm not accusing you of that, Chad USA. I'm not accusing of that, even though you said I look like Elon Musk. I'm not accusing you of that. I'm saying that people always say this shit about how men are stronger than women. You just same women would become second class citizens. I'm talking about with force. Oh yeah, I know. I think that groups of men can make sure that women can have less power, right? But I guess maybe knowing what we know today, maybe if the government and everything collapsed in like a dystopian way, like a like nuclear holocaust or something like that, that maybe women could get together and have their own tribes and shit, and they can like Themyscira, they can do their own thing. There have been cases where tribes of women have just killed all the men and they just live by themselves. That shit has happened. Mm, that's okay. I ain't holding typos against people unless they're being insulting. Um, it's because we are not babies and a headache. Because we are not babies and a headache. But it's like, and also women have strength and the ability to endure things that men could never endure. I've seen like, I mean, I've seen it on both sides, but I've seen men like lose their brains in basic shit, and women are just like, well, it's got to keep going. Like, I mean, that's a type of strength. I don't, it's like that thing. Well, it's like those guys on the whatever podcast always being like, men are stronger and they did all this. They built the power lines or whatever. They built the air conditioning. It's like, yeah, but you didn't. How fucking dare you say that men are better than women? There's always a few smarties, and the rest of us are just very good at learning how to use the same tools. Like, you didn't invent the gun, right? You know just how to use a gun. Like, I could probably figure out how to make a bullet, but only because I've read about it so many times. I don't know really how to make a bullet. I couldn't just do it without going back to some books and being like, oh, okay. I know how it works. I know how a bullet works. But to build one from scratch, I'm as useless as everybody else. I can't just build one from scratch out of nowhere. That's a very specific type of skill. A skill a woman could do, by the way, for sure. The future is written in the novel of a dystopia after a nuclear war in Ridley Walker. Lily, great. Tell me what happens. Women are better than men, says Paris Kitty. In every way? Wow, in every way. I mean, I tend to like women. I tend to like the comfort, the company of women more than I like the company of men. But I do have male friends, and I think they're very important. They're very important to me. So I don't know. You don't have any male friends, Kitty? Oh, they're 50-50. Bullet menus a rock. Yeah, but women can have rocks too. If it's just rock to rock, I think women are pretty good. What happens usually, the way men subdue women, and why you don't see this difference so much in primitive cultures or like isolated tribes, you don't see this difference between men and women in isolated tribes and primitive culture, is because it's mostly technology. Men get technology. They have some kind of advantage, and then they don't let the women touch that technology. They used to not allow women to have telephones. Women couldn't touch the telephone. They weren't allowed to drive. They weren't allowed to use credit cards. They weren't allowed to write books. They weren't allowed to read. They weren't allowed to learn how to read. I mean, in the days of Anne Boleyn, she broke the law by having a Bible in the English language. She was breaking the law when she did that. It was against the law for women to read the Bible. So, like, it just comes from very long ago. Once you start getting access, when you can limit someone's access to something, oof, that's how they do anybody. Like, Africans, right? Like Europeans figure out how to make steel. They go to Africa. Africans don't have steel. They can start killing people pretty easily. They start killing people from further and further away, so that tribes can't really do anything about it. Then you can enslave them, and then you bring them to America, where they're not allowed to read. They're not allowed to touch any kind of technology. They're not allowed to touch any pieces of steel except for tools that they're using in the gardens or plantations. So I mean, it's always that. They make it illegal for you to learn how to read. It's pretty easy to keep people down. You don't have to do it with rocks. Yeah. Sounds like Iran. Well, you know what? Sounds like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, we're friends with them though. For some reason, we never want to bomb Saudi Arabia. Why can anybody tell me why we never want to bomb Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Oman or UAE or any of the countries where that's true? I like that. I like that you're singling out Iran, but why is Iran the one on your mind? When all the countries that Donald Trump bends over for or sucks off, they have the same issues. Why is that? Why is that? Why we should have left them in Africa? Yeah, we should not have. You mean we shouldn't have perpetrated genocides on 3 continents? Yes. Western Europeans should not have perpetrated 3 genocides on 3 different continents. Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Yes, because they're oil rich. Saudi Arabia is oil rich. Iran is oil rich. Why do we have a problem with Iran, who has human rights issues, kills Kurds, kills their own people, has public beheadings, all the stuff that Saudi Arabia has? Why is it that we're friends with Saudi Arabia, but we hate Iran? Or Pakistan. Pakistan's got nuclear weapons. Why are we friends with Pakistan? And they hid Osama bin Laden, Pakistan. They hid Osama bin Laden. Why is it that we're friends with Pakistan, but we hate the Iranians? Why do you think that is? They all say death to America, you are bewitched. They all say that. They all hate us because we support Israel. Saudi Arabia says it. Most of the people involved in 9/11 were Saudis. They all hated America. Death to America. Are you that sensitive that you hate that when people say death to America? Go to Oman. We're great friends with Oman. We love them. Go to Yemen. We love those guys over there in Yemen. Go to the UAE. They hate America there too. They all hate America. They hate America because we keep giving money to the Jews in Israel. So they hate us for a bunch of other reasons too, but that's the main one, right? That's the kicker, right? They really hate us for that shit. But they all say death to America. So why is it that we're friends with Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Oman and the UAE and Kuwait and even Iraq now, but not friends with Iran? Why is it Iran? Nukes? Pakistan has nukes. It's not the nukes. Pakistan's got nukes. Iran never had them. Iran had enriched uranium, never ever got to have nukes, never really developed nukes. They had nuclear power, but they all have nuclear power. Saudi Arabia has nuclear power. Kuwait, they all got nuclear power. So nukes, nah, it's not the nukes. Why do you think? Let me see if anybody guess. Because Iran doesn't want to suck off the West like the Saudis do. There you go. Ding dang do. Because Iran has this little thing called bullshit democracy. They have an illiberal democracy, right? Illiberal, which means they have elections, but they don't really mean much. And they mostly are run by theocracy, but they still have will of the people expressed through government. And even though it's mostly bullshit, one party's always going to win, the will of the people is actually affecting the government. And what that means is that Iran doesn't want the oil money from their country going to New York or London, because fuck New York and London. New York and London were the ones who got together and installed the Shah. And the Shah was a brutal dictator that necessitated a revolution in 1979. That's why you always hear 47 years ago. But really, this all started in 1953 when we put the Shah in. And so they say, fuck you, we don't want to sell you our oil. And if we do sell you our oil, we're going to dictate the price. And that's why they were one of the two founding members of OPEC. Well, one of many, sorry, but two. I say two that we've attacked. We've attacked Venezuela. We've attacked Iran, two of the founding members of OPEC. OPEC, the oil producing economic countries or whatever the hell. I forget exactly what OPEC stands for, but it's the oil countries, basically. They don't like America or England dictating the price of oil. It's their fucking oil, and they don't like us telling them what to do with it. That's it. It's that simple. It's not about nukes. It's not about religion. It's not about women's rights. It's not about anybody's rights, except for the people of that region trying to make sure that the oil money goes to them instead of us. And they don't like people telling them what to do with that money. If they make money from oil, selling it to China and Russia, and they want to build nuclear bombs with it, that's their fucking business. It's not ours. That's it. It's that easy. But they're not building nuclear weapons. They can do whatever the fuck they want with their money. It's a free world. But we're not friends with them because of that. That's why. We want them not only to sell the oil for the price that we say, we also want to make sure that our companies are the ones drilling it and refining it. And they said, fuck you. The same thing that happened in Venezuela, by the way. Venezuela and Iran are the same vibe, right? Venezuela, of course, they say death to America too, but they say it for different reasons because Chevron and Exxon Mobil and all this Shell, Dutch Royal Shell and all these companies, British Petroleum, they came to Venezuela and they started mining for oil, and the people of Venezuela were fucking poor. But the people of New York and London were making all sorts of money. So the Venezuelans said, we don't like that shit. And through a kind of bullshit version of democracy, a kind of bullshit illiberal democracy, they expressed the will of the people. And the government said, well, we are going to take all of our oil back. And that's why people like Stephen Miller says, that's our oil. That's America's oil in Venezuela. That's not America's oil in Venezuela. The American companies, along with British companies and Dutch companies, might have built the oil drills, the oil refineries that are in Venezuela, but that doesn't make it the oil ours. That's Venezuelan oil. And they don't want to sell it to it. They don't want to deal it with us. They'll sell it to. And what happened, actually, they would have sold it to us, but what happened in Iran and Venezuela is that when they did their revolutions, and they said, we are now going to sell oil on our terms through our companies, America said, nope, we aren't going to buy it from you. And by the way, none of our friends are going to buy it from you either. We're putting you in the burn book, like Regina George. We're putting you in the burn book, and we're not going to let you sell it to any of our friends. And they both said, fine, we'll sell it to your enemies then. We'll sell it to China and Russia and Cuba. There's plenty of countries that hate America. We'll sell it to India. We'll sell it to Brazil. And so they did. And America sat there and cried. That's all. Who's in charge of all that Venezuelan oil today? Well, that's a big question mark. People think it's Chevron's the only country. Chevron's the only company that's moving in, supposedly. But we'll see. We'll see. That's not all done yet. That's not all done. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Venezuela. We'll see what happens with Iran. I love this guy, Sweet Havoc. Socialism! You think socialism ruined Venezuela? What did I just tell you? Economic sanctions ruin countries, not socialism. What happens is We decide, they do socialism, and we decide we don't like your type of socialism because we want that oil money. We want that money from you. And so then we say none of our friends can do business with you. And so what we're trying to do when we do that is cripple your economy forever. That's what we're trying to do when we say those types of things. And we won't allow anybody to trade with you. Why else would they do it? None of our friends are allowed to do business with you. That'll ruin your country. We ruined that country, not socialism. America ruined that country. If you do business with people, the country just do fine. But see, America has all this buying power, and we have a lot of friends that we can bully into not doing anything with you. So when we do that, you end up going like, oh, dang it, a ding dang do. I guess we should try to be more capitalist like those Americans because we want to be just like them, don't we? Because then they'll trade with us and they'll let us trade with their friends too. But that's bullshit. That's some bullshit. That's bullying. That's bullying. I'm going to steal your lunch money unless you suck off my friend. I'm going to beat the shit out of you unless you suck off my friend. That's what America's doing, and that's what ruins places like Venezuela. That's what ruins places like Iran. You think Iran woke up hating America? You think Osama bin Laden woke up hating America? Osama bin Laden's big thing was just get the fuck out of Saudi Arabia and stop supporting Israel. I feel like we could do both those things like that. We could do those, hey, like that. You don't like us in Israel? No problem. We'll stop supporting them. No problem. You don't like us in Saudi? No problem. We're out. If that's what keeps 9/11 from happening, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. And you know what's funny is that MAGAs used to say the same thing. MAGAs used to say, we got bombed on 9/11 because of our bullshit foreign policy, fucking around with other countries, starting wars and nation building and doing all this shit we've been doing. And now MAGAs have done about face. Now you guys are hypocrites. You guys used to talk like me. I've been saying this for a long time, that war is wrong. Going to other countries and telling them how to do shit is wrong. It gives us more problems. And MAGA used to agree. Not anymore, for some reason. Why not? How come now you guys don't agree? Iranians love Americans, it seems, actually. They do not like Israel. There you go, Paris Kitty. You're absolutely right. They don't like Israel. That's why they say death to America. They say big Satan, little Satan. That's what they call us. Big Satan and little Satan. Yeah, we play double-sided. I mean, that's the thing. MAGA used to agree with me, and now all of a sudden, man, Terra Firma says, stand up for right things at work. See how long you have a job. It's not different in countries. There you go. There you go. Stand up for what's right. You'll be the villain. Lickety split. Venezuela was doing well, helping their people when they were sanctioned. The oil dropped. Venezuela went bankrupt. That's exactly it. Yep. That's exactly what they were doing. Just fine. Cuba was doing just fine. Cuba was doing just fine. They had tourism. They had the sugar plantations. They had rum. Man, they were doing great. What happened? Oh, they pissed off America, and America ruined their economy. Oh, socialism doesn't work. Socialism works just fine. Socialism works just fine. Think about what you're saying. These idiots that socialism doesn't work. Well, it's funny because I can drive from New York, and I've driven from New York to LA. No problems. Not even barely a detour because of socialism. Socialism maintains that incredible road that stretches across and by the way, I could cross 3 different ways across America. And I have. I've been on all 3 ways across America. North, middle, and south. And you know what? They're all gorgeous. And you know what? Free. I didn't pay for shit. I didn't pay 1 toll. So tell me, socialism doesn't work. Socialism. Look out. Look out for socialism, everybody. That's going to get you. It's going to get you. Donald, the planets do belong to the United States. The planets belong to the United States. Yeah, that's it. The whole planet belongs to us. Venezuela was thriving under capitalism. Dude, Sweet Havoc, you're always in here. I don't think you know what capitalism is, man. I don't think you know what it is, dude. I don't think you know what it is. Don't think you understand what capitalism is. They had such high inflation that a wheelbarrow of money would only buy a meal. Sounds like the United States under Donald Trump. Shit, that sounds like when I go buy my coffee these days. God damn. Yeah, MAGA thinks socialism equals pay the riffraff. I don't know. MAGA hates books and libraries. I mean, MAGA hates libraries and books and clean roads and schools. MAGA hates schools. You know, they hate children. They think children should all just, I don't know, be sold to the Epstein class. If they're not owned by Jeffrey Epstein, then do they really have a purpose? Children. That's how MAGA looks at it. They don't want kids in school. They don't want this mess. All these kids running around. I'm here to listen to the opposite side, Sweet Havoc. Sweet Havoc, you don't know what side you're on, man. Sweet Havoc, you don't even know what capitalism is, dude. They were thriving under capitalism. No one was thriving under capitalism. No one thrives under capitalism. You know who thrives under capitalism? The billionaires, the corporations. That's who thrives under capitalism. Those who own capital. That's why it's called capitalism. The people who own capital, the means of production, those are the capitalists. You're just a sucker being separated from the means of production via liquid assets. You have nothing but the couple bucks in your pocket, and you got nothing else. You got nothing else. You don't own anything that makes you money. You don't know, unless you got a rental property I don't know about, or maybe most people don't own capital, is the point. Most people who call themselves capitalists do not own capital. They own no capital. But they'll call themselves capitalists. I'm a capitalist. I love it. Really? What do you love about it? It's not those darn socialists. Name me one capitalist country that succeeded. Can you give me one capitalist country that succeeded? Or one capitalist policy that benefited anybody? Just one. Just one capitalist policy. Like I could give you 12 socialist policies in America off the drop of a hat that benefited everybody and that are incredibly popular. Can you give me one capitalist policy that benefited Americans, everybody, that's popular? Can you? I'll give you as many as you want. I could probably come up with 100 if you push me. You know? Oh, not the people. Yeah, roads are socialist, yeah. Free market. What free market? We don't have a free market. What free market? What free market are you talking about? We don't have a free market. Free market is not a policy, by the way. Half the students drop out of high school. Half the students drop out in high school? Where? Who? What country? Where? You can do it anytime you want. If you say capitalism works, then explain why Trump has called it a rigged system. Capitalism has never worked. There's never been a country where capitalism worked. It's never happened. Unfettered capitalism doesn't exist. Just like pure socialism doesn't exist. These are political fictions that you've been told by the despots, the people in charge. There's no such thing as a capitalist country. It just hasn't happened. We have economies that cobble together pieces of different ideologies so that we can try to benefit the people. And our leaders usually fuck it up, especially here in America, because corporations are considered people in this country, because we're idiots, and we have a Supreme Court that is just as fallible as the oligarchs. In fact, many of the people in the Supreme Court are oligarchs. So, yeah, you do with that what you will. But because we treat corporations like people and we give them the freedom of speech, which is fucking insane, we have major issues in this country and policies that don't make any sense and don't benefit anybody. And so we keep robbing the hoi polloi in order to pay the oligarchs and further create a wealth gap in this country. And we're not doing it in other countries. And by the way, other countries are the same. They're part socialist, part communist, part capitalist, part mercantilist. They're all cobbling it together. And some of that's based on culture. Some of that's based because it's baked in the cake because of their form of government and the documents, their founding documents. Some of that happens. Some of it happens because of their low education or because of their miseducation. Some of it happens because of social experimenting. I mean, in the ancient world, you saw a lot of this, like the Spartans deciding that everyone should be a warrior. Every single Spartan must be a warrior. Like, there's crazy things that have happened throughout history, like these weird social experiments. The Nazis taking eugenics too far, that type of stuff. But this notion that socialism ruins countries and capitalism is great for countries isn't true. Countries are ruined because of mostly foreign policy of more powerful countries. That's how countries get ruined. Because if you're just living your life hunky-dory, everything's okay, and no one's fucking with you, you're usually all right. But once America gets it in its head that you're the devil and that we need to destroy you and none of our friends are allowed to do business with you, you start starving pretty quickly. And that's how you get war. That's how we got Japanese, right? The Japanese were doing a crazy bunch of empirical shit in Asia. We didn't like it because they were teaming up with the Germans on the other side of the world, and we were against the Germans. And even though we weren't at war with Germany, we were very upset about what they were doing to England. So we just decided we're not going to trade oil, and none of our friends are going to give steel or sell steel or oil or bullets or anything else to Japan. We embargoed them. And Japan said, well, it sounds like that's an act of war. And so they bombed Pearl Harbor. Because why the fuck not at that point? That's how that happened. We tried to destroy their empire through economic means, and we still do it. If you do something we don't like, we try to destroy you with economics, and it takes time, but we love doing it. And we did it to Iran, and we did it to Venezuela. We've done it to Iraq. We've done it to a bunch of countries. Afghanistan. And Cuba. Cuba's a little harder because they're an island, right? And they got the Russians, and the Russians say that they're going to back them up no matter what. So it's a little scary. Cuba's a little scary, right? A little scarier. BRICS played their hand badly. Yeah, I mean, so did we, right? We're at war. We're the ones dropping $25 billion so far in the desert. $25 billion. It seems like it's actually more expensive than that because they said it was going to take us $1 billion a day, and we've been at war for about 8 weeks. So it sounds like it should be more. 8 weeks should be about $60 billion, right? But they're saying that it is $25 billion. Pete Hegseth said that. And they can't tell you how they spent those $25 billion, but we've spent $25 billion, so they say, fighting Iran. And yeah, maybe BRICS played their hand wrong. Maybe. But it's not looking good for us. It's not looking good for us either. I'm paying $6.50 for gasoline. I want to hang out with people. I want to hang out with people 90 minutes away from my house, and I can't because I can't afford the fucking gas. Because I can't afford the gas, I can't hang out with my friends. Yes, they cut off Japan because the American people would have never wanted war. And then we got war because we cut off Japan. We cut off Japan because we didn't want war, but we got war because we cut off Japan. Capitalism doesn't work with healthcare or education. Capitalism barely works. It doesn't really work, right? It works like market economies work. And people tend to think that capitalism means market economy, and that's not true. You could have syndicalist economies and co-ops that own the means of production and still go to the market and buy apples with money and still have the best apples cost more money. You could still do that. You could still have like that part of competition capitalism in the marketplace without actually having a 100% capitalist economy where oligarchs own the means of production and make billions of dollars while they sleep and you toil. Like, capitalism doesn't work because the working class, the largest group of humans, our labor, those who labor, are left out in the cold and are enslaved and can't afford food, can't afford to have kids, can't afford to heat their homes, can't afford to light their homes. Slapitalism. Good thing you've got us assholes. That isn't it, Skyjack? Yeah, we're all a bunch of assholes, I guess. At the end of the day, I don't know what you mean, but I like it. I'm glad. I'm happy to have all of you. Yeah, socialism doesn't work. Sweet Havoc, you see, this is what I mean. I make all this effort to explain shit to you, Sweet Havoc, and that's your answer. You really are a sad case. You're a sad case. Capitalism is a monopoly game. That is all. Yeah, I mean, it's like, when you land on someone else's property, and you got to pay them just for passing through. And they build all these hotels. When you land on that one asshole's Broadway and he's got like all the hotels on it and he's like, you land on it and just wipes you out completely. Yeah, that's capitalism. Except it's capitalism. Actually, it's worse than a monopoly game because in the monopoly game, you all start out with the same amount of money. And you all start out with the same ability, technically, through the roll of dice. Just through the roll of the dice, you can land on different properties. And if you're a little strategic, you could actually win. Anybody can win in monopoly games. But in capitalism, I'm not born with the same amount of money as you. We don't just roll the dice. You already own the property by the time I'm born. I just get born into this, and from the day I'm born, I'm paying you. From the first day I breathe, I'm paying somebody. The story of America will be those who had the most to lose, did the least to prevent it from happening. That's it. Well, yeah, man, that is the story of America. What do you mean? Socialism is when you own your own labor production. It's much better than capitalism. That's it. My labor is a gift. My labor is a gift. You don't just get it. You got to pay me. And I'm going to own a piece of what I produce. At the end of the day, socialism is, if I work on a widget with you and we both work on the widget, I get 50% and you get 50% of whatever we sell that widget for. That's how it works. That's socialism. But socialism also means that we then we do 50%, 50%, but let's do 40% and 40%. We'll take 20% and we'll put it in the pot. And with that pot, we'll see if everybody else wants to also put 20% in the pot from their widget production. And then we try to do something great with that money. Like, I don't know, make sure that if any of us get sick, we can go to the hospital. Let's build a hospital with that money. And so we build a hospital and we pay a doctor. And so we keep building our widgets, and I get 40%, you get 40%, we put 20 in the pot. And we build more hospitals, we build more stuff that we all own because we put it from our labor. That's socialism for you. It ain't that hard. Oh yeah, I mean, I like your Geen. Gene, maybe it's Gene. Gene says this is still feudalism. Where we are right now is like corporate feudalism. Yeah, I mean, I have a mortgage on my house. I pay a company called like I'm not going to say the name of the company. It's some bullshit company like Double Doozy Mortgage Company, right? It's just some fucking name that they bought it from Wells Fargo, and now I pay these assholes, right? I used to pay Wells Fargo, now I pay these other assholes because Wells Fargo sold my mortgage to them for some reason. They do this type of thing. They buy and sell mortgages. They sell your mortgage to China. They sell your mortgage. They sell pieces of mortgages. They have derivatives they can sell. And so if you're living in a house and you're paying a mortgage, it is not far fetched that you are paying Amazon. So here's how crazy it could get. You could be working for Amazon, buying all your groceries from Amazon, living in a house that is partially owned by Amazon and paying Amazon interest on a loan that Amazon invented. Then you use the internet. Ding dang do. Looks like Amazon internet service is what runs the whole fucking internet. That's how they make all their money. You think they made all that money selling fucking books and dildos? No, they make all that money selling internet access. And so even if you aren't paying Amazon, you're paying Cox Communications or whatever, AOL, Time Warner, whatever it may be, whatever your ISP is, and they're paying Amazon. So you're paying Amazon for your all of your media, your home loan. You're working for them, they're paying you, but they're taking all of your money in all of those services. You got to buy your groceries from them. That is feudalism. That is like old company store shit. That's like you're working in the mine and the mine owns all your whole town. So you work at the mine and they pay you bullshit money and you can use the script currency to go to the company store and buy your bag of sugar and your beans. And you bought it from them though. So they paid you money and you gave it right back to them. And then you go to your house. Guess who owns the house? The mine. This is where we are in this country already. So, I mean, it's already over, Navia. Navia's been paid. Yeah, Amazon Web Services. That's right. So you get all of your media. If you have a job at Amazon, you're taking the money they give you and you're giving it right back to them. And if you work for any internet company, if you're working online for a living, right now I'm working online, and I've only gotten 2 super chats. Thank you so much for the super chats, Leif Erickson and Steffelson. I got the Sens and the Suns. Thank you. I'm trying to save up for a baguette tonight. I'm trying to get a baguette tonight. But Amazon brings it to my house, yeah. But this is late stage capitalism. That's what it is. Totally vertically integrated capitalism. Where at every step they're getting a piece of you. Amazon is the company store, yeah. Yeah. Because they do invest in mortgages. The chance of them owning a piece of your mortgage is actually quite high. And if you I know it's kind of far-fetched that you might work for them, but if you happen to work for them and you have a mortgage and you buy your groceries at Whole Foods and you use the internet at home and access Amazon Prime or Apple TV, it doesn't matter, you're giving all your money back to the company. By the time you're done, they might own a piece of your car loan. Completely possible that they own a piece of the car loan that you pay. They directly affect the cost of gas. So even your gas that you put in the car isn't going directly to them, hopefully, but the cost of it is directly affected by them. Nobody wanted to call in today, but thank you so much. We're winding down, landing the plane. They pay tax and get nothing but higher bills. What happens after late stage? Collapse. collapse? Hold on, that's a great question. I want to see. Let's do. What is late stage capitalism, and what happens after that? Let's ask the Google machine and see what they say. Late-stage capitalism refers to a contemporary phase of the capitalist system, typically characterized by extreme wealth inequality and dominance of multinational corporations. That's what I was talking about. The commodification of nearly every aspect of human life. Yeah, because everything becomes a toll road. The more chaotic life gets and the faster life gets, that's why the dromosphere is such an important concept to understand. The dromosphere is so important to understand because the faster life gets and the fact that the speed looks like chaos, it's a tool used by the fascists and the capitalists to keep you under control so that they can monetize every aspect of human life. While originally a technical term used by Marxist theorists to describe post-World War II economic expansion, it has recently evolved into popular cultural memes used to satirize the perceived absurdities and inequities of modern business culture. That makes sense, right? But anyone who's read the manifesto, like Communist Manifesto, knows like what late-stage capitalism is. Like, it is foretold. It's like a prophecy of what will happen if we do capitalism too much, basically. And that's why the Communist Manifesto was written, that communism's shouldn't be a bad, like in the beginning of communism, like a dark specter lurks over the idea that everyone who's you don't like, everyone that the bosses don't like gets called a communist or an anarchist. It's because they want to barrel toward more capitalism, more monetization of every aspect of your life. If we tax billionaires 90% wealth tax, they are still millionaires. I would not feel sorry for them. Well, we're past feeling sorry for them, aren't we? Aren't we? I mean, if they took all of them and they put them on a boat and they put that boat in the middle of the ocean with no internet and no phones, nothing. They're on a boat. They get all the food they want. You know, they take really good care of them. But they're on a boat in the middle of the ocean. Nobody's allowed to talk to them. Do you think anyone would care? Would you feel sorry for them? Billionaires? No. And that goes for Taylor Swift, too. Put her on a boat. Stick her out there. Core characteristics, modern usage of the term: extreme inequality. The tiny elite holds disproportionate wealth while wages for the majority remain stagnant relative to productivity and inflation. Sounds about exactly right. Corporate dominance. Mega conglomerates exert significant influence over public policy and utilize lobbying to rig the system in their favor. Yep. That's basically just fascism. Financialization. The economy shifts focus from producing goods to speculative trading, debt-based consumption, and stock buybacks. Check and check. Surveillance and commodification. Personal data is harvested for profit, and human needs like sleep, attention, and identity are increasingly commercialized. Okay, so what happens after? What happens after late-stage capitalism? Because late stage implies the system is nearing its end, various theories exist regarding what might follow. These range from utopian visions to warnings of collapse. I think collapse, but we'll see. Let's see. There's only a couple options here, okay? Let's see which one you like the best after late-stage capitalism. Which one do you like the best? Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Hold on a second. I'm going to do this. Bam. Impeach Pam Bondi. Oh, she's already impeached, man. I can't believe I still have that up. I got to delete that one. Man, I called that one. Remember when I called that shit? She didn't get impeached. They were going to impeach her, and they got rid of her instead. Ding, dang, do. No, not that one. That's the one I want. Is America Still Free? There we go. I like that one. That's like my catch-all. That's my catch-all. All right, socialism or communism. Classical Marxist theory suggests that capitalism will eventually fail due to internal contradictions, leading to a workers' revolution and a system where resources are distributed based on need rather than profit. What do you think? Sound good? Sound good? That's the communist. The communist says that the workers will revolt. Working men and women of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. What do you think about that? You like that one? Let me know. What do you like it? She was a billionaire. She inherited everything from her mom, who was the secretary of Shell or CEO. Yeah. Todd Blanche can't be impeached until he's confirmed. He's acting attorney general. He'll be acting for as long as they can. We'll see. Workers' revolutions are always just used by oligarchs to off the kulaks. Yep, and the Kurds, and I mean, there's a whole theory about how the Kurds might have been the 30,000 people the Iranians murdered during those protests, and that those Kurds were sent to protest by the Americans. Hey, Kurds, go protest your Iranian overlords because we'll help you. And of course, they all died, and we did nothing. We did nothing. Do you remember them saying, if you touch one hair on any of those protesters' heads, I'll be coming around the mountain with a haymaker? Never happened. Of course, 30,000 people died, probably Kurds, right? They love killing Kurds over there in Iran. It's funny, they killed 30,000 people and no one seems to give a shit anymore. Why come no one seems to care? No one seems to care. All right, so workers' revolution. Let me see. Next one up is techno-feudalism and techno-capitalism. Some suggest that as AI and automation replace human labor, the owners of technology will become the new lord class, controlling the means of production while the rest of society depends on them or lives under digital surveillance. That seems pretty likely, I think. I think that one seems pretty likely. What do you think? I know who the kulaks were, but I love you for telling me. Kulaks were Russian middle class killed during Bolshevik Revolution. Well, you gotta kill the bourgeoisie, man. They're the worst ones. They're the ones that don't want you. They're the ones that hate the workers the most. You gotta kill the bourgeoisie. That's what happens in a revolution. It doesn't look good. I mean, people like to think about how they cut off all the heads during the French Revolution, and it was a bloodbath, and it wasn't just the rich taking the hits. You know what I mean? The hits kept coming. I don't want to be assimilated into the Borg. We're basically that's what the other option is. There's a few options here. First, we have workers' revolution. Number two is technocrats, techno-feudalism, and techno-capitalism. Hold on. Hey, thank you so much. I'm really enjoying what you say. Liked and subscribed. Thank you. Consider becoming a channel member. Sky City Rebels get tons of extra stuff. We do a daily extra live stream for channel members. Sky City Rebels get all sorts of new content, behind the scenes stuff. We do all sorts of cool shit just for the Sky City Rebels. Consider becoming a member. I love you. For the $2 though, that $2 will help me buy a baguette tonight because all I'm eating is poor Frenchman food. All I want to do on Thursdays is drink a bottle of the cheapest wine I can find. It's $3.50. It used to be $2 until Donald Trump became president. Now it's $3.50. And then I want to buy a baguette. It's $1.99. I have to half bake it, but it's $1.99. It's fucking cheap. It used to be 99 cents and now it's $1.99. It's my favorite meal. My favorite meal is wine and baguette. I'm like a poor fucking Frenchman. I'm just a poor Frenchman. A poor little froggy. Thank you so much. Welcome, Myro Tech. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Are you related to a billionaire? I wish. I wish I was. Yeah, basically, I'm basically just a poor Frenchman. You know what's funny? So I'm not lying. That is my favorite meal. My favorite meal is just a warm baguette and a bottle of the cheapest fucking wine you can find. I love that shit. And and partly it's because when I lived in Europe, there was a time in my life when I first moved to Europe, I made a lot of money, and then I burnt out on advertising and graphic design and making websites and shit, and I burnt out, and I didn't know what to do, but I knew I couldn't work anymore, so I got poor real fast. I got poor very quickly. I had to move into a smaller place. It was a very stressful time in my life. And I just started getting, but you could buy little bread rolls in Germany that were warm if you woke up early, and you could have like warm bread rolls and just eat the bread rolls in the morning. And then I could find like a really cheap, like a euro for a bottle of wine, man. Or maybe it was marks back then. It might have been like 5 Deutschmarks for like 2 Deutschmarks or something. I forget. For a bottle of wine, it was unfucking believable, bro. And you could get it at like the corner shop. You didn't have to go very far. You have to go to like a supermarket. You just walk out of your house. You're like, just a bread and a bottle of wine. I would eat that. And then when I went to college, I went to Berkeley, and I was working and I was studying and I was poor, and because living in Berkeley is so expensive, and I had this loan for my apartment, but I was working. I couldn't actually work enough, get straight A's, and pay for an apartment. So I took out loans, and I was so fucking poor, bro. I was so poor. But I could go to this little Italian market on College Avenue. For some reason, they had $2 red wine from Italy and a baguette. And back then I was vegan, but so I didn't they had little things of olive oil, like little things that they could give you for free of olive oil, and I would just dip it in the olive oil, and I would eat the bread like baguette. I would drink the wine. I would study all night. That was my. Some people ate ramen in school. I drank the cheapest bottle of wine I could and a baguette that I could pop in the oven for a second, and it was great. Yeah. Anyway, option number 3. Are you ready for it? We're going a little bit. 10 more minutes. This stream is over because I'm gonna go. Gaming stream starts at 5. The gaming stream will start at 5. You're gonna love it. We're gonna finish Pragmata. All right. Post-capitalism, post-scarcity theories influenced by technology like Star Trek economics envision a world where information and basic goods are so abundant and easily replicated that the price mechanism falls towards zero, potentially necessitating universal basic income. Post-scarcity, post-capitalism. What do you think about that one? Star Trek. That's what Elon Musk says is going to happen. Do you believe him? Do you believe him? Studio Link is broken? Really? Is this why I don't have any callers today? Berkeley or Barkley? Berkeley, the first one with 3 E's in Northern California or Central California. Post-capitalism cannot happen. It's an oxymoron. I don't know. It looks like it's pretty good. Open your Discord. My Discord? Are you talking to me? I'm waiting for the Bell riots. Yeah. Cisco. That guy looks a lot like Cisco. Cisco looks a lot like Bell. Nah, it doesn't look like him. Looks a lot like him, I think. Doesn't that look like your dad, Jake? Systemic collapse or barbarism. This is what I think is going to happen. Are you ready for it? This is what I think is going to happen because we're not smart enough to get ahead of this and actually do the Star Trek thing. So I think systemic collapse or barbarism. A more pessimistic view suggests that without a managed transition, the system may simply collapse due to environmental degradation, climate crisis, extreme civil unrest, leading to localized autocracies or communes. That's what I think is going to happen after capitalism. So build communities. Build communities. Yeah. I sent you what I see from chat. Studio link is broken. I sent you. I just dropped it. I just dropped the link in here. Here. I don't know why the studio. Something happened when I made the stream today. It had an error. That's why I think it put up 4 streams. So if you want to join, well, actually don't. There's 6 minutes left in the stream. It's over. It's over, man. Paying variable school taxes, it's insane. Yeah, so basically everything has to fall into barbarism. Did you use this one? Well, I'll be doing it again. I don't know what's wrong with the Anacle. I can't fix it, and I've only got 5 more minutes left of this stream. I heard people say automation is eating up capitalism, making socialism inevitable. Yeah, well, that's the first thing. That was the first one, right? Socialism or communism. That Marxist theory suggests that capitalism will eventually fail due to internal contradictions, leading to a workers' revolution and a system where resources are distributed based on need rather than profit will replace it. Yeah, that's the first theory of what will happen after capitalism. Automation is eating up capitalism, making socialism inevitable. Oh, look at that. Guy Fawkes is here. Guy Fawkes, how the heck are you?
Mic check. Good.
Yeah,
Mic check.
Great. Mic check. No. I can hear you.
I did the same link just off here, and the first time it sent me to a blank page. It says no one in the studio.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Weird things are afoot. What do you think is going to happen after capitalism?
Ugh. The decline, mass starvation, wars in the street, anarchy.
So you're with me. You think it's going to be systemic collapse, and barbarism.
Well, the worst thing that happened was the trading of water, when they made water a tradable commodity for prices. Then you get people do capitalism for crushing all of us. Yeah, I wanted to touch on yesterday's thing just a little bit, like. I think Windows inking and typing is one of the weirdest things on your computer. It can tell who you are by the spaces you leave between words. The milliseconds you spend between typing letters, they can tell who you are at your house. Yeah, you need to get your ads off of your new PC. Everything you can cut out, figure that out, and get rid of it. Privacy and ad settings. Well, yeah, Windows inking and typing is one of the weirdest ones.
The problem with all that stuff is that the computer stops working at some point when you do all that. Like, you have to give the computer, like, remember yesterday or a few days ago, I was trying to use this computer as just another screen for my mega computer. And you can't do it without putting all of your permissions on, and then you have to do it all over wireless. You can't do it corded. You can't do it with a cable. I spent like 2 hours on that, and it was just impossible. So until I can, it's like, and it's like even to play Steam, because the other thing is, because once you involve a camera, the camera and the mic are then arguing for resources and permissions, and you have to give everything all the permissions to use all the time in order to fix that problem.
You're on a 60-inch screen?
The big one, I think, is, something like that. I don't know.
I see you looking around at the video games, and your eyes have to go up pretty far for some corner shots. Yeah. You could actually do your games in windowed mode, and it'd be like a 2K windowed mode, and actually come down lower. On your left, you could do the StreamYard, but that's
So that was one of the suggestions, was that you could do that, but then once I got into that rabbit hole, I started running into newer problems with StreamYard. And so then StreamYard didn't want to do certain things that I wanted to do. And then I said, fuck it, I should just do OBS. Because then chat, whatever AI I was using, I forget what I was using to try to walk me through it. I think it was Google maybe. And it was saying that I could... they would keep on going back. On OBS, you could do it like this. And I'm going, maybe I should do OBS. StreamYard costs so much money. I really like how easy it is, but I keep on running into weird technical difficulties, and it costs so much money. At this price, it should have 0 technical difficulties.
Have you heard about the geofencing Supreme Court?
Yes. Tell me about it. What's your take?
Well, okay, so like, say somebody robs a bank. They take a 2 or 10 block circle radius around there, and they say, you're who we're investigating.
Phone. Yeah.
They go into your phones. They look at your pictures. They look at your tracking through the day. We think they went to McDonald's afterwards. Let's expend the geofence there. So, yeah, it's going to get it's really bad. And the Supreme Court's of course, going to be as authoritarian as possible.
I mean, Supreme Court just basically negated the Voting Rights Act, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't know what's. I
they
was
just
trying to
want
figure
one
out.
regime, otherwise they'll get caught for the money they took.
That was so crazy. The Voting Rights Act now has been essentially thrown into
Neutered.
the circle, neutered, you denuded, uh, and I defanged. I don't know what the world looks like after that, and I was like Googling like what happens now, like like so what even happens now in Louisiana and all over America by 2028? All of these things, it basically just throws the entire electoral process. Like, remember that game where you were trying to put all the little things in the? It was called like, and then it would shake and all the pieces would pop out. I forget, concentration. I think it was called. It was like a little device where you had to match the heart in the heart box and the circle in the circle box and the plus in the plus box. But if
Or
you
a
didn't get it,
timer, had a timer or
but the
something.
timer, and there was a timer, and you do it as fast as possible. But if you didn't, it would shake really vigorously, and all the pieces would fly out. And that's what I think is happening with our electoral process in America.
So New York is also slated to they're going to have a vote and then redistrict as well. I hear that gets 6 seats in the House maybe.
It's crazy that we're even having this conversation. Do you know, like, people think this is normal now. It's not. It's not normal to be having a conversation.
If George Bush went to Texas, okay, we just need to redistrict you guys.
Imagine if George W. Bush had done that. Like,
Yeah.
we'd be fucking. It's totally insane that we're even having this conversation about this. Our electoral process is up in the air. It's a jump
it's
shot.
dystopian enough, but at least we're quote unquote allowed to have this conversation.
For
although
now.
we are exactly being monitored. You know,
We're
the
being
AI's
monitored, and only like 50 people are watching. Like
an hour after this, the AI is going to be able. You can read Gemini through your thing, and you can go back and you can chat through the whole conversation. You could get a verbatim quotes from everything, and that's the one that reports back to you. That's a smarter AI. The dumber AIs are just searching like, oh, they said revolution too many times.
Yes, I mean, it's getting so crazy that like Google Gemini, I'll ask it a question. It'll be like, "Oh, is this for your Nemo? Because I have a Nemo laptop. Is this for this, or is it for your other computer, or is it for the other one?"
Mine always like to say, "Oh, you have this graphics card." No, I didn't want to know about my graphics card, and is yeah. So the Windows even does that, and then Google also has now a saved thing, so it puts you in boxes before you Google search. So it's no longer like the original Google where you got just a straight word translation search. It's now, well, this guy's a little Republican. Let's just keep him on the conservative search results. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, they're trying to.
They could do that too. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we've seen that's what the algorithms are written like. Every time they leak what the algorithms are doing, that's like the first thing they figure out is what political leaning you're at. And I have to now with I don't know if you've experimented with this at all, but YouTube now, you can make AI assisted playlists. And so I've been experimenting. I say, give me, because I do a news show every morning, but mostly it gives me Fox and MS Now. That's what it generally gives me. But I want a lot more local news. I really like knowing what happens. Like, how does the local news station in Tennessee feel about? Like, I'd love that shit when they have like the local Tennessee expert have a conversation about somebody and have, you know, whatever the redistricting is in Louisiana or whatever. But I can now go into YouTube and say, I want different opposing views. I want news from opposing views, local included. I could like tell it all that, and it'll make me a playlist, make me search results, I guess, of news. And I think that's really cool.
Just before I got in here, I was trying to double research Windows inking and typing. If you have improved Windows inking and typing, they're taking your data and they're putting in a little cookie for words and phrases you say to help you auto-complete your words faster, quote unquote. But I said, is there ads coming to that? I asked ChatGPT. It says, nope, no real ads, nothing to worry about here. I go over to Gemini. It says, yeah, they could do that. They take your biometrics. They know who you are. They send your information.
But it's so funny because you're talking. But what's crazy? I saw a video from the manufacturer of those touchscreen Coke machines. Have you seen them? They've got like a
No.
touchscreen.
Oh, okay.
And you could mix. You can have like I want 50%
Like at Wendy's.
Coca-Cola. I don't know. I haven't been to Wendy's in 100 years. But
you could get like Coca-Cola, and you could put red juice in it or blue
yes, yeah.
juice.
You could, and it's all flat screen, right? And the machine itself was actually designed by Ferrari, Panine Ferrer, the design team at Ferrari, which is so funny to me. But we bought one I bought two when I was in Vegas and I was opening a restaurant. We bought two of them. And they're paying. It's crazy how they work. It's basically an inkjet printer that you have to load a million different tone. It's like you're loading all this toner.
Sounds healthy enough.
It's all they have non-nutritional sweetener. It's not even high fructose corn syrup. It's non-nutritional sweetener. You don't even know what the fuck it is anymore. Like what's in a Coca-Cola. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is I saw a thing about how there's also a camera on it and there's a QR code so you could scan it and you could have your Coke that you always get, like, oh, I want that, so you don't have to go through the process. But also, it's timing how long it takes you to decide different stuff, and it could tell who you are based on the drink that you get, the time it takes you between each one, and it is also taking photos of you.
There's another thing I was looking into, and Jim and I was telling me about. So my Wi-Fi router constantly kind of chatters with the neighbor's Wi-Fi router. So the whole, ad people of the conglomerations, they could buy your data. They know where you are, and they can tell where you are based on adjacent Wi-Fi routers to confirm your location.
Well, that's how we get around cities because the GPS doesn't work.
I took GPS off of my phone, and I got that turned off. But
doesn't matter.
It just blips a Wi-Fi. I walk past Wendy's up the street. Blip. Oh, there he is again. He left the house. Mm-hmm. Oh, what time did he leave? How long was he back? Oh, he's back. Oh, he went there and back. Okay, so it's a 15-minute trip. Okay, then we cut him up on this third one. He's off at the gas station.
They triangulate, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, that's why they call it location services, is not GPS, right? It's it's pinging off all of the Wi-Fi's to find out where you are, so that you can navigate in a city without talking to satellites. It's cheaper and faster, and better. So yeah, I mean, you're as soon as you're carrying one of these things around, we're toast. And so my question yesterday was, do you think that the trade-off, if it's true that this is that it's safer, is it worth the loss of privacy?
Who needs privacy with friends like these? With governments like these.
I mean, if you're doing nothing wrong, what's the problem?
The problem is that AI can lie. The problem is that the FBI has a list of unpious things against the government. Mm-hmm. If you're not, the FBI will come after you if you don't. If you say Christianity is bad, or if you say capitalism is bad, anti-capitalism views. What did you see that thing from the FBI?
I see the whole list thing from the FBI. What do you mean that thing?
Oh, just like last week or so, they put out a list of stupid things that basically targeting liberals, un-American ideas, un-family values. I don't know. Yeah, it was. I didn't have that clip.
I no. I mean, I've seen how they're how they're compiling their list of enemies. But I mean, the big thing right now is they're going after Comey for taking a picture and posting it on his Instagram. So that's pretty shocking, I think. If I take a picture of someone that says, what's funny? I remember living in Germany and then the Iraq War started and there were protests and I protested at one. And then after the protest, I was looking around and there was spray paint on the wall that said something like "Death to George Bush" or something along the lines of, kill George Bush or something, or fuck Bush, kill him, or something violent about George W. Bush. And I thought, oh shit, like,
I was next to that guy. It makes you a little scared, yeah.
Yeah, and also just like I
But now
didn't.
you've been geofenced.
Yeah, now these days, but back in 2003, I didn't have that worry, you know. But I remember when I moved to Germany in 1999, and everyone was like, "Wow, America's so amazing! I love America and Americans," and they had American T-shirts. People were wearing the American flag on their T-shirts and on their bags just because they thought America was cool. And by 2003, 4 years later, already they were saying "Death to America." The Germans were because of Iraq. Of the Iraq War.
America says Smurf everyone. You can't
Yeah.
find a person America hasn't said Smurf to on camera. Yeah, Mr. Kill Me says it about American citizens. Brian Kilmeade.
Yeah, Brian Kilmeade. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? I mean, but now they're going to surveil you. I guess the thing is, like, if I had taken a picture of that spray paint on a wall,
surveillance is the worst. That's what's
Right,
sickening about this climate.
so if I took a picture of that violent thing about George W. Bush and posted it to my Instagram as just like, oh, look at this,
Terrorist, you're a terrorist.
I'm the terrorist, I'm the one making the
And
threat.
we both said the T word. Now we're going to get scanned by 12 AIs. Some at
Well, I've been-
Palantir, some at the
I've
other
been on the
agencies
list
I don't
for a long
want to list
time.
right now.
I've been on the list a long time. That's just where I'm at, man. I'm just, I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the list. People think I've been shadow banned because I talk too much about those things, you know. But I don't know what to do about it. And here I am in America. What am I supposed to do? But in the meantime, my life is just. I think it's crazy that we're going after Comey, even though I hate Comey. I think Comey sucks. He's a villain like all the rest. But
He
like,
gave us Trump. He was maybe a half
his-
a percent leaned us at Trump for the releasing of
yeah, because of
whatever.
the emails, we're gonna reopen the.
He talked about her emails, but he's not gonna be like,
Yeah.
the Trump admin has 168 Russian contacts in 2015.
Well, no, yeah, he said we're
Now I'm on a
reopening
Russian server.
we're reopening the investigation into Hillary Clinton. He did it like 3 days before the election or something.
And then they've had like 12 Signal Gate snafus already. Trump's own personal cell phone is not secure. Trump literally answers the phone. Who is this?
Yeah. You could just
Not
text him if you're-
prearranged, just a private phone.
Do you remember when Barack Obama had a BlackBerry and everyone was saying he's a security risk because he has a BlackBerry?
He wore a tan suit. You could tell he's a security risk.
But do you remember they had to make him a special BlackBerry because the BlackBerry he had wasn't secure, and
And it did nothing. It did nothing.
Yeah.
Is this Wi-Fi? No. Is this internet? No.
Yeah, it's just a brick. It's just a brick that he has. He had to have 3 phones on him at all times. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess I don't think that surveillance actually makes us safer. People say it does, but I don't think it does. And like, at what level? At what point does it make us safer?
Why didn't
How
they?
does the
catch
Coke machine?
What do they even call the ballroom thing? The White House. You can't call it the White House Correspondents' Dinner because it wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't. It was. Yeah, it was something else.
well, I mean, it's supposed to be
The
for
first
the
time he
press
shows
corps.
back up and he destroyed it.
Yeah, is that funny too? It's the first time he's ever been at one as a president.
Conquered the White House press.
He's the first one. He's the first time he's gone to the White House press conference as a sitting president, and he ruined it. It didn't
more
go.
ways than one. Yeah, and then Caitlin Collins was supposed to get an award for.
Oh, really?
Did you? Oh, yeah, for her reporting on the Epstein files.
Really? Oh no, I did not know
And
that.
we can't. This is a post-truth civilization in America. We don't know if it was staged or not. I mean, we don't even know if that guy is real. They could have made his whole background.
Yeah, honestly.
And then a few paid actors. Yes, he was a great tutor.
Yeah, we loved him. I can't believe this is happening.
Or did they even know about it ahead of time?
I mean, dude.
And then they just kind of let it happen.
I mean, that's what he says in his
Just like 9/11.
in his manifesto. If you believe that he wrote it, that's what he says. He says, like, I can't believe I'm just the arrogance of it all. Are they pranking me?
I don't
Do
think
they
it was
know?
staged. I think it was allowed. Because who was the first person off stage?
JD.
Yeah, that's a coincidence.
JD Vance was the first one off stage.
Well, here's the thing: who replaces Schindler? Who in the base is gonna? Oh, JD Vance, you're such alpha male with your eyeliner. Maybe if you paint
It's
your
so
face
sweet. I
more
love his
orange.
eyeliner. I love his eyeliner. So it's so cute. It
JD Couch
slays.
drained a river to go kayaking, or flooded a river. Extra flooded a river. Is he gonna give two shits about anything for any of us? If you'll like literally fuck
Well,
with
this
our
is
water?
always the problem. Like, I don't believe in this whole overthrow of the dictator because I just don't see how it helps anybody. Like, everyone complaining about Donald Trump, when me included, like that's why I often want to concentrate on like trying to on getting people to be their own leaders and challenge authority and not do what they tell them. Like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. If I could get people just to be a little bit more high friction, the world would be a much better place, I think. It wouldn't matter who's president, and it shouldn't matter
And
who's president.
there's what do you call it? Stage gate. Trump's trying to cover up the fact that he fell down on stage
Oh yeah.
again.
Well, he tripped over his cankles.
Yeah.
He must get hurt when he does these pratfalls, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I fell, I would hurt. This guy weighs more than me.
You
He's,
could probably
you know,
see the knee pads, but since he's on blood thinners, his knees are probably still bruised.
Probably. I bet they are. I mean, he's lucky he didn't break his arm in a thing like that. That's the other thing why I think it. I just think it's. Perry Ellis says he was 100% staged, man. I think it was staged. It's so hard for me to say that, but at first I didn't want to believe it. But immediately I was like, this just doesn't seem real to me.
They spun it in a half hour later.
Yes.
And then
30 minutes afterwards, they already
Tex
had the
left
images
White
of him.
House. Tex left the White House, and within 30 more minutes, 30 right-wing computer warriors, were the YouTubers, whatever. They're all saying, "This is why we need a ballroom." That ballroom had 2,000 people in it, and his plans for a ballroom only fits 1,000 people.
Also, it's a private event. It's not a White House sponsored event. It wouldn't be at the fucking White House anyway. Yeah. And the ballroom, this thing gets us stop talk about Iran, gets us to stop talking about gas, stop talking about Epstein. I mean, it's a great thing to stage. If you're going to stage anything, have someone bum rush the door.
2 weeks ago, Trump says, "I need to have a shit." This is why you need a soundboard, okay? I need to have a shit. And then, but he actually, the head of the Navy resigned, and 3 days before that, he was trying to use the nukes. He wanted to obliterate Iran. But his dementia is so bad, he's literally drunk all the time. He probably has a functional IQ of 70. People say he talks, I forget if it's a 6-year-old or a 6th grader level. That's the vocabulary he has now in speeches.
It's rough. Like, clearly he's impaired, right?
Anyone who said Biden should resign once ever should be like blowhorn to get Trump out of there. I heard, I'm not sure who said it, 2 in 10 Trump voters now want him impeached and removed.
Yeah, of course they do, because most Trump voters see how ridiculous this is. Most people are not MAGA. Just because you voted for Donald Trump doesn't make you MAGA, right? I know a lot of people who voted for him, but still hate him. I mean, plenty of people who voted for Bill Clinton hate Bill Clinton, Plenty of people who voted for Barack Obama, like me, I voted for Barack Obama. I still hated Barack Obama.
Have you been purged from the voting rolls yet?
No, I don't know yet. I guess I'll find out when I try to show up.
I have to Google how to find out if I've been purged from the voting rolls.
No, I just got I
think that'll put me on a list too.
I just got the booklet. Yeah, you will.
Intention to vote list.
I just got the booklet for the primary, so I don't think so. Because the governor's coming up. We got to vote for governor in California.
It goes
Who
to
should I vote?
Newsom again, though.
No, Newsom's terming out.
Oh, really? Okay.
We're having a primary. Yeah, Newsom's terming out. We're gonna have a primary. It's a big field. It's a really big field.
Do you have
Two
a favorite
Republicans.
or too many?
I don't have a favorite. I kind of hate them all right now. I know. I don't have a favorite. I feel like, the woman will win. What's her name? The one that yelled at her staffer. She's a. Hold on. Yelled at staffer. What is her name? Katie Porter. Katie Porter. I think Katie Porter might take it. But I don't know. Get out of my fucking shot, she said to her staffer. Remember that? She was trying to do a little social media thing. She's like, get out of my fucking shot. And it's like, it's a little mean, but I thought it was kind of funny. Like, okay, it's a dick thing to say, man, but get out of her fucking shot. I think it's great.
You can't even know if that's like an ad. You can't even know if somehow that was a clickbait thing.
I don't know. She got so much shit about it. I think because she's a woman. If it were a man, I don't think it'd be such a big deal. But she's just another Democrat. I think she's going to take it, but I'm not going to vote for her probably.
I don't like that gal already. I heard one quote.
Get out of my fucking shot.
Yeah. That you're if you're gonna say that, you say that to people that work with you, like you give two shits about the poor on the street.
I'm not going to vote for her. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to vote for her, Katie Porter. I don't. But I'm going to see if there are any candidates, third-party candidates for CA Gov. Let's see. The field is set. 10 candidates are running for California. Yeah, 10 candidates are running. Let's see who we got. With so many candidates running for governor, it's hard to keep up. So here are the 10 candidates. We have Javier Becerra, Democrat, former U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary and former California Attorney General. Nope. Chad Bianco, he's the Riverside County Sheriff. He's like that crazy Republican with a big mustache. He looks like an old county sheriff. Steve Hilton, he's the Republican Fox News contributor and former advisor to conservative British Prime Minister David Cameron. He's British. He's London. I really hate him, Steve Hilton. You have Matt Mahan, Democrat, mayor of San Jose. Katie Porter, Democrat, former U.S. rep. Tom Steyer, the Democrat billionaire, entrepreneur, and former presidential candidate. He's the one I get the most ads for. He's a billionaire. Fuck him. The only good billionaire is a dead billionaire. I want nothing to do with that guy. Eric Swalwell has backed out. He was a Democrat who backed out because of his rape allegations.
Yep.
Tony Thurmond is a Democrat state superintendent of public instruction. Antonio Villaraigosa is the former mayor of Los Angeles, Democrat. And Betty Yee, a Democrat, former state controller, suspended her campaign on April 20th. So she's not in it anymore.
Are you ready to wrap up?
I'm ready to wrap up. But
My cat put a hole in my leg, so she wants something.
All right, everybody. Then I'm going to kick you out. All right.
Alrighty.
Take it easy,
Pieces.
Guy Fox. Thank you. That's it for the show. We went a little long because we had a caller at the last second. Louisiana and Texas governors also bought Israeli bonds with pensions. You can't, I got to vote for governor this year, and it's like, I don't even want to. I don't even know. I guess I'll vote for Villaraigosa in the primary, but, I don't want to vote for any of them. I don't want to vote for any of those assholes. Gavin Newsom not on their guess. He's going for no. He's terming out. He can't run anymore. Gavin Newsom's done. You only get 2 terms in California, so you get 8 years. You can't run longer than that. Just like a president, he can't go longer than 8 years. So no more Gavin. No more picking on Gavin Newsom because he can't do shit anymore. He's probably going to try to run for president. He won't. It won't work. There's no fucking chance in hell that Gavin Newsom's going to be president. No chance. So, you can stop thinking about Gavin Newsom. It's over. No more. He's done. Katie is a beast. Do you like Katie Porter? I like Villaraigosa for candidate for the Democrats, but I'm not going to vote for him. I'll vote for him in the primary, but he's not going to get my vote in the general. Because I think it'd be nice to have a Los Angeles, a Southern Californian, get someone who's LA. She's a law professor and anti-capitalist. I know Katie Porter's not bad. I used to love her as a congressperson, but a congressperson is not usually a good executive. Congress people as executives usually suck. But former mayor of Los Angeles, Villaraigosa, maybe. Antonio Villaraigosa, mayors usually make good governors. I don't think U.S. Representative Katie Porter, and Katie Porter's from here. She was a representative like 2 districts over in my county. Katie Porter's from where I live. She's Orange County. But yeah, no more Gavin. Yeah, no Gavin Newsom. He's done. Skyjack Morgan 2028. We got to do it. She's not another Democrat. Smoking Blondie, you like her so much, Katie Porter? Is that who you're going to vote in the primary? I don't know. I don't vote for Democrats. It doesn't matter. He won't try. No more Gavin. I think he will try. I think he will. Vote Sky. You can vote for me. That's what they said about Trump, and Trump's like, nope, I'm running again. He hasn't run again yet. But Gavin Newsom can't run again, and it's against our Constitution for him to run again. He can't do it. But he can run for president, and he probably will. And he couldn't be worse than the guy we got, but I'm still not going to vote for him. He let PG&E get away with murder, and I'm not okay with it. I'm never going to be okay with that. People who measles is bad are funny. People who measles is bad is funny. Microbe Joe. All right, thanks everybody for joining. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and I am so glad that you hung out with me today. I really do appreciate you. We got one caller. I kind of expected more, but we're going to do the 4:30 live stream with the gaming. Do some gaming here at 4:30. It should be fun. You love Katie Porter, huh? Man, I used to like her when she grilled people in Congress. She was pretty great, but as governor, I don't know. Who think measles? She hates billionaires. Well, I got that in common with her, I guess. Maybe I should vote for her. Does Villaraigosa hate billionaires? I don't know. Josh is the better. Josh Shapiro? Josh Shapiro. There you go. Josh Shapiro. Anyway, that's a whole other story. This is the call-in show that we only had one caller, and thank you so much for joining. Illegitimate, non-copyrighted, don't let the bastards guide you down, because I love you, we love each other, and the animals need us most of all. And Godspeed, rebels. Don't take any wooden nickels.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.